advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good evening and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts Randy, Jackie, and Anthony right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email right now. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to Your Home, Your Money. Randy, Jackie, and Anthony.
Good night, ladies and gents.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening, Vietnam.
I think it's technically night.
It's good
now, no?
morning.
What do you mean, good
It's
morning?
good morning, Vietnam. I think you do have dementia. You just
She doesn't get it at all. It's okay. Go back to sleep.
no.
It's all good.
You could put your own twist on it, but it doesn't
I did.
sound right.
That
I
was
get
my
it,
own
but
twist.
it didn't sound good. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
You're really not going to enjoy rewatching this part of it. I'm just telling you.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah, that tone kind of said you do care. Kind of sorry, Jack.
Well,
I'm sitting between them here.
The elephant in the room.
Is there anybody out there, or is everybody watching the election?
the elephant in the room,
Is you?
it is election day in the United States.
It is election day, but from anyways, the numbers I saw, like 80 million votes were already kind of voted on before today, which is almost 80 million. I think it was like 79 million. So I wonder how many people actually go out. What do they usually get, like 160 million out there? Like, does half the people vote? I'm not sure how.
I don't know. Gary, you got any numbers for that?
For what stats? What you
Like,
He's
for,
wondering
like-
how many people.
I saw earlier like around 80 million voted like before even today. Like I'm not sure. Like,
Oh, you mean how many voted so far?
I think so far it's 79, but like usually what do you usually get? Like is it like 200 million, 150 million? Like what?
Total's usually around 250.
Is it?
But
Oh,
right
really?
now, how many people voted so far? Those numbers are skewed because the polls are open now. They had that number prior to prior to today.
Okay.
So right now they wouldn't know. But I would assume probably the way things are going, close to 150 to 160 million people so far.
But you think it's because the states is what? States is 300 million people. You're saying 250 million actually vote? That's actually
That's
pretty,
correct.
That's
There's
pretty
300.
impressive.
There's 350 million people in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
and for the last presidential election, it was just under 230. So they're expecting another 20 million for this
That's
election.
a high percentage because like of those 350, I'm sure not. I know percentage is actually voter eligible, but that's a good percentage compared to here. 'Cause here I think we
There
struggle.
is a lot
What's
of issues with voting, as you know, because of people. You're supposed to be a citizen to vote.
23
Yeah.
A
delegates?
lot of people
One
that
sec,
are
guys.
not
Whoa.
What?
Go ahead, Gary.
No. Go ahead.
As you know, you're supposed to be a citizen to vote, and they've had issues over the last decade of a few million people here and there voting all the time that are not citizens. So you'll probably get a higher number, and a lot of those people are not eligible to vote, but they do anyhow.
Right. Well, I mean, the Democrats don't mind that. So
No, they
my
don't.
understanding is
I don't think either party would mind if they're voting for them, but I'm guessing the people who aren't supposed to vote are maybe vote more for Democrat. assuming?
this
That's
is what-
correct.
this is-
And the proof of that is it's mostly because of the immigrants that come in that don't come in legally.
Okay, they
come
wanna
in
stay.
illegally, and then they get a lot of stuff.
Free
and then
stuff.
they're thankful for what they get, so they, their loyalty is to the Democratic Party.
So Gary,
Well, shouldn't
because
they
you're
have
an
to
American,
produce- but
I'm
when we go
curious.
to the polls, we have to show our driver's license. We got to bring that card. Like they have no
Yeah.
system there.
Yes, there are systems in
Depends
place
which
for
state.
that, and they're supposed to do that, but that's in some states and polling issues because of democratic law in the particular state, they got rid of voter ID.
Yeah, in California, you're not even allowed to ask them for ID.
Yeah, so
So,
there's several states, and then other
Oh, wait, you
states.
can't ask for ID? What kind of?
yeah. Well,
What do you mean?
it's-
It's like you just go and say I'm John Smith and you vote? Like that's it?
Or just go and vote.
So
No, you
stupid.
give a name and
Oh,
an
you
address,
give a name?
but you don't have to prove the name or the address. You
Can
don't
I
have
have
to
10
prove it.
ballots, please?
That's crazy. That's true. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's America. The part that I don't really understand is how America is 50-50. They are perfectly okay with a whole bunch of people coming in and paying for their hotel and paying for this. And you see kids going to school saying, well, you know, we got to allow this to happen. Is, you know, you got to be kind and all that. It's like, hold on a second, but how many bills are you paying right now? You're not paying any bills? Your parents are paying you for to go to school? Oh, okay. Okay, so who's going to pay the bills after? And I'm just blown away. That part of it is just like, I guess they just don't have, they actually believe that it's free and that they can give all this free stuff away and everybody can be happy. And I agree, if that's the way it was, I would, you know, that would be awesome. I think everybody should get a lollipop immediately upon entry. And it shouldn't just be a red lollipop. They should have choice of color, you know. And that should be the start. And then they get to pick their favorite iPhone or Android phone off of the next desk. As long as, you know, I mean, there will be less colors.
Android? You mean iPhone? No.
iPhone, Android, iPhone, no, Android and
Oh,
iPhone.
I gotta get a selection.
And or, because you know, some of the immigrants, they're coming, and they may not want the iPhone. They may
Oh, you
want
mean
the,
like you?
yeah, like me. If I was the immigrant crossing the line, I'd be mad if they gave me an iPhone.
I don't know, my kids keep telling me,
They
you
like
gotta get an
iPhones.
iPhone. You gotta get
The
an iPhone.
kids love
Mom.
their iPhones.
Mom, I'm gonna buy you an iPhone. I'm like, don't, because your dad, we all have to have Android.
I'm not into iPhone. I don't know. I'm not an iPhone guy either. I like my Android.
You know, I think eyes should just stay in your head.
You should what?
I think eyes should stay in your head.
I should say.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
So,
when we first started, we had Mac and iPhone.
yeah. Well, when we first opened the company, we opened it up with all Macs and that, and then
What happened?
it
You
was
decided that you got tired
it
and
was
you wanted to
almost
buy more?
impossible to scale because real estate and Macs they were allergic to each other, and Macs are great if you're doing, you know, social media stuff or like music or video, audio, you're doing any of that kind of stuff, they're fantastic. But as soon as you get into business, don't forget that Macs don't allow anybody to do an app with them. They have to go through Mac, whereas the PC, anybody can do an app. So what you have is you have thousands and thousands and thousands of apps for PCs that just aren't there in business,
But
that
do
just
you
aren't
need
there
them?
for the Mac. Well,
Because our daughter uses Mac and she
Well,
runs her
I
own.
think-
yeah, because she runs her own business. What's she do? Influencer.
Yeah,
So
but she
that's what I
still
said.
has
If you're
things
doing
in-
social
However,
media,
I
video,
would agree
audio,
with you for like
music.
10 years ago, but I think now with Mac, the Mac OS is kind of the same, but you can also run Windows on Macs now too. So
You could back then as well.
You could back then?
Yes,
Okay.
you could, but it's a version of it. It's not bad. I mean, we tried, but the problem is that it's just not fully compatible with everything.
but also you gotta put in mind that you're not really compatible with computers also, so it could be partially used. Just saying, maybe.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Ouch.
I would laugh.
I was going to say though,
But
if you
I
have
think you didn't
Android and
deliver it
I
very well.
have iPhone, is that a big deal?
No.
No, it still works. It's just if you both have iPhones, then you can do certain things.
Yeah, and if you both have Androids, you can do certain things. But once you have two different ones, then now not everything you can easily share. Like for example, Mladen will do a video of something and send it, and it goes great to iPhone people, but soon as it comes to us,
I
it's
know.
sketchy.
Yeah.
And so, the two aren't communicating the best. They're doing a decent job. We can call them and talk to them, great. But yeah, outside of that, it's not so great. But with the election, Mike just came in and gave us a little update. Kamala Harris had 4.2 million votes, is what I saw on the screen, and Trump had 5.3 million. However, whatever that point system was at the top, which I'm wondering if that's delegates.
No, it's I don't think it's delegates. It's basically electoral votes or electoral seats. I think
Okay.
Donald Trump's 23 to 3 right now.
23, and she's at 3.
Yeah, 3 right now.
So
For seat, but that don't mean anything.
I don't know what it means. What's it mean?
Basically, you need 270 to win.
Oh, so hold on. So Trump has 23
Out
of
of-
the 270 right now?
That he needs, yes.
That he needs.
So basically, whoever gets
So he's off to a great start, even though he's only up 1 million in votes.
Yeah, again, I don't know like the places he won, or if they're places that again like I think he won Indiana, which I think is Republican. So like again, I don't follow that well to know who's that technically like a red state, who's a blue state, right? So the 22 to 3, I don't know if those are states he's supposed to win or not, or if they're like swing states. I don't really know that kind of detail, but he is, as of right now, he's up 23 to 3 last time I saw.
Well, if I may interject, that still does not mean anything yet,
Yeah.
because those are, they know traditionally in history for the past 80 plus years, certain states always vote Democrat, certain states always vote Republican. It's the swing states that determine an outlook of a presidential election, because you don't know which way the state will go, and they have a high number of electoral votes. So if Trump was ahead 119 to 6, he's still a long way off from becoming the president, because what counts is when all of Harris states come in for Democratic, which are, a lot of them are on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
those few
California.
five or six states that really count. We have to watch, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Colorado, stuff like that.
Is Georgia a big one? I know right now.
Yep,
Trump's
Georgia's a
he's
big
up.
one as well.
Yeah, he's
So
up big in that
that's a
one.
good start for Trump, but I've seen in my lifetime, I've seen candidates get, 180 electoral votes, and
Enrico
another
did.
person has 30, and then that person took it. One of those examples was Clinton. He was way, way down in electoral votes, and then the swing states came in and he won them all. So,
Wow, okay.
you got to be careful with it. So that's a good start for Trump, but, as time goes on, we'll see.
Yeah.
May not mean much.
I think with this year, with all like the wrangling with votes and whatever, we might not even know till tomorrow or next. Who knows how long it's gonna take before they actually figure it out fully.
Oh yeah, with this new
everyone wants to, like-
democratic way of doing it. Like, because last time he was kicking butt before everybody went to sleep. You wake up in the morning, it's like it totally reversed. It's like, well, how did that happen? But it is what it is.
Emails, Anthony?
There's
before
one
we
email.
Get into stuff?
Oh, hold on. Well, let's end this politics thing. I wanted to say I heard one lady say that the reason why she's voting for Kamala Harris is that she felt that when Trump was in power, the country was more chaotic. And I was thinking, you know what? You're right. The country was more chaotic. But why was it chaotic? Because the Democrats were saying, oh, no, it's okay. They should be allowed to riot. Oh, they're burning down buildings. Oh, they don't really mean to. Go ahead. And they were like encouraging for people to go on and be stupid. So I don't know if I would reward them. So in other words, it's like, okay, well, I fear that if they're not in power, they're going to burn down the place. And that's just what yeah.
We have one from Bill. Bill talking about the iPhones. Hello, real estate folks. I'm switching between your show and the presidential election. iPhone sucks for business. I know. I sell them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, thanks, Bill, for switching back and forth and still trying to tune in to us. Yeah, I see Randy's got elections on one computer and we got, but this is an all-night thing. This is
I'm going for
Well,
you
it
guys. I'm
could
going to
be.
sleep.
It could be.
I ain't watching it.
Yeah. I'm
No?
good to find out in the
No.
morning if it's there. I really don't care one way or the other. If Trump wins, it'll be, I guess, some entertainment in the next 4 years on the news. If Kamala wins, it'll be who knows? But
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Well, we'll get used to that laugh that she does, I guess, when she doesn't know how to answer something.
Yeah,
She got that giggle.
I think she's cute.
She is. She's
pretty.
very fine looking woman.
we have one more from Steve email before we get into it. Still on the Apple thing. The problem with Apple and Mac is that the software and hardware is proprietary. You have to go to them to get
Yeah.
stuff done,
Yeah.
which is true. That's why I don't like the phones, because like, again, you have to jailbreak them, whatever it's called, to put any app that they don't approve of. So it is kind of annoying, yes. So yes, I do agree. I was kind of being tongue in cheek with Randy before. Macs are a bit of a pain in the you know what if you want to kind of do what you want to get done.
Yeah, and like we're in real estate, so in real estate, we're not into rapping or music
Or design.
and all that stuff. Video a little bit, and so we'll have a Mac for the video part of it. But for our day-to-day business, if we
But
had
even
a
for-
Mac, there would be so many things we just have to say, well, we can't do that, can't do that. It's just no.
Even for the video, I think Mac is just more, I guess, user friendly for some of those stuff. But even for us, for our videos, I don't think we really use Macs. I don't know if you're using it for anything, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll
PC
use it
at
for
schools, I would assume, right?
podcasts and stuff like that.
they ain't got a iMac money in the school board.
So then when they give out these tablets to kids, they're actual tablets, they're
They
not
give out
iPads?
Chromebooks. They're like
Oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
I think like if the kid loses, I think it's like $150. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
know.
and that's because everything that you do with it is on the cloud. Nothing
Yeah.
is on the computer. Actually, they're pretty cool. I really like the Chromebooks, to be honest with you. It's just that,
It's
you
a
have to get a
glorified-
powerful one.
But they're just glorified. I don't think powerful or not. They're just glorified browsers. You can't really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they
Yeah.
are. It's just a browser.
Yeah, a way to access your
yeah,
browser.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, well, actually, you know what? I'm a little bit disappointed that the October stats haven't come out yet for the Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm dying.
I'm very interested to see how that's gonna go.
Oh,
'cause
me too. Because it was a good.
It is
October
up a
was a
little
good
bit, though.
month.
I don't know. I
It's a little bit
was
It was a
watching.
good month.
It was, like, I don't know. I've been watching Ajax, and to me, I've seen the numbers kind of go up and down a bit. Like, I'm seeing Ajax now. You can get 3 bedrooms for in the eights and nines. Even some 4 bedrooms have sold in Ajax for under $1 million, which a year or two ago would be unheard of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a house on my street that's been trying to sell now for at least, I would say, a few months. And they've done a lot of work to the house, because they have like the glass, it's like, the glass when you go up the stairs. They
Oh,
did it.
yeah,
I think they
railings.
tiled the whole place. It's a 4+2. I didn't get a chance to go take a look at it. I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just suspended like yesterday.
listed
Oh, it
for?
didn't sell?
It didn't sell. It's listed at, I think, 1.2.
Oh.
1.1, 1.2.
But it was beautiful.
It's from the pictures. It's nice. It's probably like a little bit. It has to be a cup of tea. Like, it is nice, but you might not be
Oh,
like that kind
it's
of
quirky.
thing. I would say quirky is just. It is high end, but it's also like, I guess maybe quirky is the word. It's just a little bit different. So from the pictures, anyways. Like, my wife said she isn't really a fan of it.
More personal taste.
Maybe,
in it,
yeah.
you
Like, it
mean,
does
or-
look high end, but again, maybe that's just not your thing. The way they kind of did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, again, a lot of places are still being suspended, being terminated.
Oh, yeah.
From what I'm seeing, like, I think the most I've seen in terms of sales, again, I'm just talking about Ajax because that's kind of where I'm focusing right now. Is like,
Yeah.
in a day, like maybe 5 is like a good day in terms of sales, whereas you're getting like a bunch of listings coming on every day. So I don't know. Again, like, as Randy said, I know. Again, it's from my looking at the beginning of the month, like, this seems like it's going up. But again, I'm seeing a lot of, again, even detached houses, like not for like 8s and 9s. Again, generally more 3-bedroom, but you'll find the 1 or 2 4-bedrooms that are going, or a lot of 3+1s as well, for definitely under $1 million, and a lot of them under 9 in Ajax.
But overall, on the board, year to date, the sales are up.
Year to date. Where are you
Isn't
getting that?
On the meeting yesterday that I was attending.
Well, right now, we've got 3 months left. We've got 51,000 sales.
Yeah,
Last year
year
were
was-
65, and we're not going to do $5,000, 5,000 units per month. We didn't
I'm
do that
sorry, then
last
I
year.
got it
So
backwards.
sales are
That's my
down.
dyslexia. I turn everything around.
So
Okay.
sales are definitely going to be lower this
What,
year
does,
than
what does
last
Trump
year.
say? You're fired?
I'm
Is that
fired.
how
I
it
need to
goes?
be fired because I'm telling you, I write everything backwards. It's
Well, that's okay.
horrible.
That's okay. We're not expecting you to be like me. That's not.
I don't want to be
that's-
like you, thanks.
That's not why you're here.
Why am I here?
You're here for your good looks.
Okay. Well, then I'm
And,
gonna remember that.
Yeah.
I just gotta sit here, I don't do anything.
Right.
Hey, we got one more email from Ken, back on the politics a little bit. Randy is A1. Harris actually raised bail money for BLM members that were arrested for violence. Secondly, a sheriff deputy in Georgia was talking to a reporter today, and the reporter asked about the businesses that are closed tonight and why their windows and doors are being boarded up. Oh,
Yeah.
you saw this? So the reporters asked the sheriff deputy why. The sheriff said that if Trump wins, the city will burn down by Harris supporters. If he loses, Trump supporters will go out and walk their dogs. Case closed. On YouTube, he's getting fired for saying that. Oh, yeah.
But that, you know what? That was just like what I had just said. With this lady saying she felt like it was more under control. It's like, and when Biden's in, and I agree. It's like, when Biden's in, Antifa's not really doing anything. They did the Palestine thing, but that's about it. But when Trump was
I
in, all
saw
of a
that
sudden,
video.
you have.
Sorry?
Say again, Gary?
Huh?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just who wrote in was what was the name?
Ken.
Ken.
Someone by the name of Ken.
Ken?
Yeah.
I just saw that video not even an hour and a half ago, and it was a sheriff's deputy, as he said, in Georgia, outside of Atlanta, and I couldn't believe the guy said that. In all honesty, so now it looks like city council in that city is looking at firing that sheriff's deputy for being
For saying that?
For being
biased.
honest.
And here's the fatal flaw. Ready? No offense to you. Ready?
Yeah.
He was black sheriff.
Damn, brother.
He said if Harris wins, basically Trump people will be disappointed, have a beer, go walk their dogs. That's what he said. And then when they asked about the other one, he says, "Well, the city will be burned down." And he's getting fired. It looks like he's getting fired.
You're gonna fire him over that.
See, this is what I don't understand.
But
I do not understand how.
But if they said
the
it in
Democrats
reverse,
get away with doing so much wrong.
if he said it in reverse and said, well, I don't know what the Kamala Harris people
getting a
will do,
raise.
but if the Trump people, they're all white supremacists and they love Hitler, then he would actually probably end up with a promotion.
Well, we might find out if he's right or not, because I think when I left my house, I think Trump was up quite a bit in Georgia, so I guess we'll see if that's the case or not.
But how do they get away with all these things they do, and nobody calls them out on it?
Because they're
understand.
entrenched. The thing is, Jack,
I don't know. It
about you.
baffles
But get away with
Get away
with what? With what he's
All the Democrats, all these things that they do to people, like firing people because they said something, or they just get away with murder, and nobody questions it. The news, it just.
They
I don't
rule.
know.
They honestly rule, and that's just
It's
the
like
way
a
it is.
circus. It's like a bloody circus, is what it is.
It's like a circus.
Just like if you go to the House of Commons when they're on, it's a circus. They do nothing. They accomplish nothing. All they do is get up and diss you, and then he disses them back, and that's all that happens.
Yeah.
No, nothing goes on. They don't accomplish anything. At least the few times I've seen it.
Well, it's like SNL. It's a Canadian version of SNL.
The House of Commons.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I don't know.
But it's funny that he said
Politics is very powerful, I guess.
Politics is, what's really sad? It was supposed to be the government were for the people, run by the people, and it's not that way anymore. The government is for the government, run by the government. And it's kind of sad. I'm not exactly sure how we take it back, but something has to happen. But one of the big problems I mean, if you like Trump or you hate him, it doesn't matter. What you really need to get out of it and see, to me anyways, what I see is that because he's an outsider, okay, he doesn't talk their language, whatever, but because he's an outsider, he's not allowed in. Like, do you remember how hard of a time he had to be able to get through the primaries for the Republicans? Like, they all hate him. Then he made it. Then, half of them joined with him and half of them didn't. And he still blew by everybody. And what's really, really odd is that his policies are pretty democratic. Like, there's way more center, left, right kind of thing than they are conservative right values. But, the conservatives are now saying yay to him. Harris is 5.7, Trump 7.4. Okay. But that's actually 5.7, 7.4. But that's actually not that big of a lead, but it just started, right?
Well, it's not that big. Well, if as Gary's saying, we're gonna get
The West Coast is...
no. I'm saying, but if we're gonna get 250 million, right now we're at 12 million, so that's right around 5% of the total. So it's a big lead, obviously, right for where we're at. But again,
So traditionally, does the Republicans start off with the lead, Gary?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's gone both ways. And again, regarding the numbers, there's going to be a lot more people voting this year, and it will be in the millions because of the millions they let in illegally and didn't vet them. And, again, Trump is not against immigration because basically we're all immigrants. He just wants people to use the door, right? And just so, bad people aren't coming in. They're doing the best they can. So a lot of these people that came in, we think here in Canada, when they come in, they get this and they get that and they get this. You know what? Do it in the U.S. You'll end up with a car, a mortgage, health care, everything. It's horrendous, and it's driving the country to go broke.
Well, and that's where I see the problem. I'm an immigrant myself, so I have nothing against any of that. My issue is simple. It's like, okay, it's got to be done properly. It's got to be done orderly. And for these people who are saying no, okay, well let's perform an experiment to see if those are your real values when it comes to you and your family. Let's take the front door off your house. Let's remove the windows on the lower level, all right? And let's, put 8 more beds in each one of your bedrooms, like bunk beds everywhere. And let's let just random people come in and just do what they want. And then you have to feed them, you have to give them an allowance, and you have to clothe them. And, that's what you're doing. It's like, but you're okay when everyone has to share in doing it. But if it were you personally, I'm pretty sure you're not going to allow yourself to not have front door and not have windows and to have to be sharing your house with a whole bunch of people that you have to feed. And then the next thing you know, they're stealing from you, they're doing all these things, and you catch them stealing and you reward them. You tell them, oh no, it's okay. We know you've had a hard life. Here's the $20, let's have a meeting about it later. And then he brings in all of his friends and says, hey, this place is a great place to live. You can steal and they'll pay you for it. It just doesn't really make sense. And I mean, I'm a lefty, but I'm just so far. I am though, but it's just that I am. Well, you can get one. That's fine. There's many women out there that are like lefties. So, just like Elon Musk, he was a lefty.
Do you know this man?
Elon Musk was a lefty as well. And then look, he voted for Biden. And look at him now, Trump. And I think Joe Rogan voted for, who's that old guy? Bernie Sanders. And now he's voting
that
for
old
Trump.
guy?
No, and now he's voting for Trump. So it isn't it isn't unusual that we have really shifted, but really we haven't shifted. It's just, it's hard to accept a lot of things that the Democratic Party has embraced. The way that they're going after Trump is actually sinful, and that is causing a lot of people to just say, I want nothing to do with you guys until you end this. It's just so obvious that what you're doing is just so corrupt. You don't like him because he's popular, so you gotta tell a whole bunch of lies about him. Take his stories and make them different stories. Like almost every news article that comes out is pretty much a lie. The things that he says, he called everyone animals. Well, that wasn't true. And what was the latest one? He wants Cheney to be executed. That's not what he said. The way he said it, I will admit, is not presidential, but it actually kind of makes sense if you're just the average uneducated human being like myself, where he says, well, you know what, here you are loving wars, asking people to go to war, causing wars, but you don't do anything. You wouldn't like to have those trained rifles pointed at your head.
No, but didn't he say they should point it at his head?
He said, so you have to listen to the whole thing,
Okay,
which is a good 2 minutes long.
I hear you. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
But come on now.
I agree.
That's not something you say. Regardless, to me, here's I think the problem with, not the problem, the people, I think the main reason why Trump has an issue is that, and even going back to the beginning, you're right, everybody hated Trump, Republicans and Democrats. Nobody, when he first ran, 12 years ago, whenever it was he first ran, nobody at first thought he was going to win, and nobody wanted him to win, right? I'm pretty sure even right now, if you talk to Republicans, they want Trump because Trump is their best chance of winning.
Right.
Right? If they knew he couldn't win, nobody would say, let's go Trump.
Right.
It's just, he's their best chance right now
Right.
because of, he has just this pull because of, again,
His policies make sense.
But
the guy's
stop.
brilliant.
Okay, no. Okay,
That's what it is.
Regardless of, it's not, to me, it's not even the policies.
It is.
To me, I think it's mostly people that it's like the person is, he's not a politician. He says what I think a lot of people like.
He talks his truth.
I think what people love about him is the same thing people hate him. People who vote,
Right.
a lot of people love the fact that he says what he says.
Right.
And there's no filter.
Right.
And people who hate him think the complete opposite. Like, what are you doing?
He says what he says, and there's no filter.
Exactly. So
Right.
And the thing is, I think also if you were to poll out the Republicans again, yes, they're going to say, "Now we want him," but they want him because he's their best chance of getting in. I don't think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. The part of it that I may have a little bit of an issue with, but I still agree with it, is that when you say, well, he shouldn't have said that. I agree that there's a better way to say that. If Obama said that, he would have said it better. If Clinton said that, he would have said it better.
But they would say it without saying it, though. That's the thing. You can't say they wouldn't say you should train guns at him. They would use a better analogy.
It would have been a cleaner analogy. But he is from New York. If you get Gary out talking his Bronx or New York stuff, it's...
You know what? Ask Mike Swain if I have a filter. Mike, do I?
Not really, no.
Yes. So New Yorkers are a little different that way. And remember, Trump is not a politician, so he doesn't have that smooth orator. 27 to 90 electoral votes. 27 to 90. Wow. Okay, so it's moving, and that's in Trump's favor right now, 27-90. So he is not a great orator, and he speaks his mind, which is a kiss of death for politicians. Don't you notice with Kamala Harris, she can't go out and speak her mind, because if she did, this thing would be a landslide. It would be like 90 to 10. Because, we've heard what Kamala really thinks if you go back, but now that she's going to be the president or wants to be the president, she's not allowed to talk like that. So she has to be totally phony. And I get it, and that's okay. And some people will say, oh, well, Trump is phony, and I guess you could say that if you really want to, but it doesn't seem like he is. He says whatever he says. He goes on Joe Rogan's, talks for 3 hours. How do you be phony for 3 hours? When, it just, so I do understand he's not an easy pill to handle, but what I don't understand is how people can be okay with the things that are happening in the United States right now. Just like here in Canada, we're not okay with what's going on here. And if you poll, we're like 70% against our government right now, 30%. They're diehard liberals, which we probably all were, but we woke up at some point when this last round, I think it was when Trudeau called said everybody had unacceptable views if you weren't getting the needles, mandatory needles, and when he wouldn't go out and talk to the truckers. That was a big deal to a lot of Canadians. To a lot of Canadians, it was wrong. He should have went out and spoke with them. Words don't hurt. You go out and you talk to them. They're truckers. You're the prime minister. You're supposed to be like all bright and everything, but you can't go and have some words with the truckers? Like, come on. You're allowed to be on opposite sides of it, but the fact that you shut down dialogue, that's it. We don't want you. I don't care what you do right now. Right now, I believe the polls are about 70% right now are going to vote him out. So we're a lot more responsive here. I'm not sure what's going on in the United States that you guys can't be responsive. And you can take the government that you have currently, which I think is probably the worst government in history. I mean, they were worse than George Bush. I'm not sure about that. Close to just as bad as George Bush. The things that he did, the wars, and the fact that all the banks were bankrupt at the end, and he's giving away trillions of dollars and nobody knows where they were, he was pretty bad. But right now, what you guys going on is just out of control. It doesn't even make sense. And you're still 50% or 40% okay with it. Interesting. But we should move. We should move to the next topic. Go ahead. You got some news?
It's kind of the same topic, but we have two emails. One from Gloria. OMG, Randy's so right. It's kind of a bit before. Randy's so right regarding this crap. All these liberals want as many people to come into their countries, but they will not open their homes to these people. Granted, a lot of these people are down and out and are seeking refugee status, and that is understandable. But that is being used as an excuse to bring in drugs, children, I think, and sex trafficking, etc. It has been proven. And then from Erica.
Hold on. I just got triggered. This is another thing. I'm not. Sometimes I feel like I should be a spokesperson for the Republicans because some of the stuff that they just don't say. So, supposedly, one of the big things that Democrats are saying is that, oh, well, these people, they're being run out of their country and they're hard to. They're passing 4 or 5 countries to get to the United States. Why can't they go to any one of those countries? And supposedly they're down and out. If you're down and out, you can't travel over 4 or 5 countries. Like, come on, man. It's just not making any sense. And it's just absolutely illogical. Never mind all of the problems by having that open border, which they say it's closed, or this quasi-closed border. You have sex trafficking through the roof. You have fentanyl through the roof. You have the cartels making billions of dollars because of it. And then the American people have to pay on top of that. I don't know what's good about it. What is the infatuation? I never did believe it was about getting the votes, but I don't know what other answer, what is the other positive from it? These people are traveling past 4 or 5 countries to get to your country.
Because they can do whatever they want when they come in here.
They can do whatever they want in any country. We can go do whatever we want. We could Electoral votes 35-95. That's the update. 35-95. Kamala made a good run there.
What, huh?
35-95. Trump went up 5. Kamala went up 7.
All right.
8.
You good?
Yep. Go ahead.
From Erica, what Trump said about Cheney was exactly correct. All he said was how she would like it if those rifles were pointed at her head. Come on, Anthony, get with it. No matter what Trump says, you hate this guy. You are a true liberal black dude. Learn your history.
Yo.
Y'all are just hilarious. Okay, one thing, I don't hate anybody.
Are you triggered?
I'm not triggered at all. I don't hate anybody. I had a neighbor not too long ago call me the N-word all the time. Hell, I don't even hate him. I truly don't care who wins. If I was in the States, I probably wouldn't even vote because I truly don't care. Even here, like, I voted both ways. I'm gonna take care of my stuff. I really don't care what the
What do you
government's.
mean you voted both ways?
I voted conservative. I voted liberal. I
okay.
voted both ways. Like, to me, like but at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna take care of what I gotta take care of. Like, I don't care what the economy's doing. I don't care what I'm gonna do. What I gotta do. Because at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. So.
I think it probably might be different for someone who's a school teacher and a realtor. It might be a little bit different. But for us, that we're relying on our economy. See, if the economy goes in the dumpster, it doesn't matter to you. You get a paycheck anyways. Kids still got to go to school. But for us, if the economy goes in the dumpster, it affects our livelihoods. It could actually destroy us. And so having strong, good government in the States, and I'll be honest, with Trump, in a lot of ways, I'd prefer it be somebody else other than Trump. And the only reason is because he eats our prime minister for dinner during the negotiations and the free trade negotiation when Justin Trudeau sent over his people and thought, oh, he was big and bad and oh yeah, you got to do this and you got to do that. And he's going on the news and he's rebuking Trump. Trump said, oh, okay, cool. We're not negotiating with Canada anymore. Let's just do a deal with Mexico. Does a deal with Mexico. Canada's out in the cold, standing there holding nothing. Holding on to nothing but blank air. And he's like, you can't do that. The trade was America and Mexico and Canada. Well, that's what it was, but it's not now. So, and then Canada had to go crawling back to get anything to do with trading with them. And so, and then America broke their trade with lumber with us that we had, which was a nice lopsided trade. But, so I'm not that crazy about being in Canada and having Trump as the president of the United States because he is tough. He is hard, and it has some negative effects on us. But overall, when he creates a strong economy, a good economy, that also bleeds into us, and it helps us, and it gives us security. So for that reason, I kind of feel both ways with him. But overall, if you have to choose from what was actually just laid out before us for the last 4 years or what happened the 4 years prior to that, I'm not even sure how it's a debate personally. Especially from here, like we felt the things that he was doing there. We felt our economy stronger, more secure, and then when Biden took over, we felt that change too. And so in that sense, I like him. And this is where people say you flip-flop like a fish. But I'm not really flip-flopping like a fish. It's just that I don't like the fact that he can and his team out-negotiates our country. I don't like that. But I do like the effects of the United States having a strong economy and us being able to feed off of their strong economy. What was the other one?
Oh, there's one more from James. Randy is amazing tonight. He is so right. These people cross 2 or 3 countries to get to the U.S. Where are they getting the supplies? Food, $300 sneakers, cell phones. Down and out,
True.
My ASS.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, down and out. I mean, you know what? Not even to mention that United States have done so many bad things around the world. And here you are, you know for a fact that Venezuela emptied their jails into the United States. So you got a bunch of crazy people walking around there. It just defies logic, because all that stuff is going into the United States and it's going to make the country worse. And then you want to defund police too?
No, but it's like Camille Harris saying how, yeah, the border has issues. Well, but you've been in power 4 years and you never said that once. You never did anything about it. It was just a free-for-all.
Right.
So that I don't get either. Like, how do you flip-flop like that? And
Oh,
people
I get
not?
that. I do get though.
Like-
that part I do get, because you're at elections and nobody likes it. Okay, except for your diehard 30% that will never change. There's a diehard 30% on both sides of the equation, and they're never going to change. Doesn't matter what you do. They're pure Democrats or pure Republicans. But when it comes time to election, that's not good enough. You need more. So those things that you would do because you don't care what anybody thinks, now you have to start thinking, what is everybody thinking to get power for another 4 years? So that's where that drastic changes. Is like, okay, well, I'm going to change now so that we can try to win the election. Because if we stay with this, it is going to hurt us. Because I think it's like 67% of America doesn't like the way in which the border is being handled. And who is that guy that's in charge of the border? The guy looks like Elmer Fudd.
What?
Who's that Elmer Fudd guy, Gary, that's in charge of the border?
I forgot his name, but Mr. Mike will look it up.
Elmer Fudd. To me, he looks like Elmer Fudd. And you know what? There's another. They have. But anyways, to listen, what's it? Myroka? Is that his name? Whatever. I mean, I watched this guy staring at a chart that before he took over, everything was low, and then it just shoots up like a rocket ship of just pure people entering, and he says, the border's closed. And I'm like, dude, do you not have any feelings or emotions? Like, come on, obviously it's not. Like, look at that. But I guess it's closed. I don't know. Myokra or something. I can't remember his name. But anyways, it's interesting that whole Democratic side is very, very interesting. And yeah, it is what it is. I really wish that the Market Watch data came out so we could hit some Market Watch stuff, but that'll be next week. As we know, you know what, I'm going to play off it a second, because we know right now Trump's ahead, but only by 50 delegates. 60 delegates right now. He's ahead. Yeah, so it's actually been from when they started, and we got 323, so he was up 20. Then the next time we got a report, it was 2790, which is basically 63 delegates. And then 35.
Oh, that's the guy. That's your Elmer Fudd.
Alejandro Mayorkas. That's it. That's the guy. This is the guy that's in charge of the border. That's hilarious. And then, but he's also in charge of the Secret Service, right? So, and the Secret Service has is really. You know what surprises me? Here's another thing, and I mean, I'm just a black guy that sells real estate out here in Durham. Like I'm not anything too bright, but how does the Secret Service details and their leaders and that all of a sudden become so stupid, so dumb? Oh well, we didn't know we should have put somebody on that roof. But it's the closest roof to the thing with the street. Oh no, we weren't sure. And you know,
that is like that.
It's just
That is crazy.
mind blowing.
That
But
is
there was
crazy.
more. There's more. There was like other roofs too, which are a more better shot could hit from
Well,
the 450
the fact-
yards. They weren't covered.
The
They never
fact
spoke
that,
to the
like,
people.
again, from where, again, I don't know much about gun stuff like that, but from like people I've heard, like where they were was kind of crazy, and the fact that even that they missed is even more crazy because like that the whole thing
Yeah.
is stupid. Because like
Yeah.
I've heard people saying like that shot like it's like for like a trained person like
Mm-hmm.
like 95% of the time, but that's crazy. I don't know if again. I don't know much about it other than that it was like a close group where you can literally see it like with you don't need binoculars from where you are. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you don't need binoculars, you can see some people like
Well, you got the scope, right? So you're
no,
like,
no. But I mean, like, people where Trump was could see the person without binoculars. I'm saying, like,
Yeah, they could
like,
see them well, yeah. And people were calling out
Yeah.
and telling them, and it was really, really, really bizarre. But the thing is, that's sort of one thing that all happened, and then he did shot. People say, well, you know, he missed him. He didn't miss him. He hit him, but it was just thank heavens he turned his head. It only hit his ear. But that is one series of events. But after that, the head of the CIA said that they didn't put anybody on that roof because it was dangerous because of the slope. And that's when you knew that that person was going to get fired from that point, which was really early on. Because I will happen to be watching, and it was the flattest roof I've ever seen. It's almost perfectly flat. Like you can't, I don't even think you can build a roof less flat. I don't think you can because you have to be concerned about the flow of water.
the drainage.
So the thing is that once you said, I thought, oh, what a dummy. And then the other thing I thought is she's in on it.
Who,
Yeah,
Kamala?
I know it makes no sense. No, the head of the CIA.
Oh.
The reason why I say that is because you couldn't come out and say something that stupid without trying, like you're defending something. Like you could have just said, oh, it was something we didn't think about. But you said that no, you were about how the steepness of it. Well, now you're full of crap. Because didn't someone put a cow on there after? No, I don't think. I think that was just a joke.
What?
It was a joke. They would probably with when people who have Macs that can do any kind of artwork, they pretend like they had cows walking on the roof. That's how flat it was. But the funny thing is, right behind Trump, right there, they had two guys, and they were on steeper roofs. The other thing that's really, 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 really strange, and this is the thing, is just these are strange things that I'm trying to figure out how some of the smartest minds that are getting billions of dollars of taxpayer money to do things, how they would not think there's a water tower right there. If I put somebody up on that water tower, they'll see everything that's going on. So you don't set up a station up there? Now you can see everything? Like, I'm blown away by it. I don't get it. But that's probably because I'm a dummy. So dummies think that simple things are right, right? But it blew my mind. And that's where I thought, okay. So Trump, after, and then when you saw the assassination attempt, and I showed Jackie, where the lady was hiding. She was like the CIA lady. She was ducking down and hiding when the other guys had jumped on Trump, and she's like ducking down and hiding.
I don't want to get hit by the bullet. It's not,
No, she was afraid. Obviously, I would be afraid too.
Not like it's her job to jump in front.
It is.
I know.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird. I was showing Jackie, and she goes, "Oh, you're kidding me." So that was one. And then two is that this is the same lady later. You see her over by the car, and she pulled her gun for some reason and couldn't put it back in the holster.
So I'm just curious. Like again, I have no idea how they hire these people. Like, do they have to have like battle training? Like actually, like how like are you just pointing to like to me like if you're a Secret Service, you should have had some
elite.
I would think you've had some near-death experience, or you've been like because like. Anyone, like, I'm just saying, like, for me, if there's a gun around, I'm gone. I don't care who I'm gone.
You wouldn't be able to use me as Secret Service.
Like, Exactly, right? So like, I would hope these people have been in like places where they've been live fire, where they've maybe even, I'm not saying being shot per se, but at least, you know, like where they've
But like they should have like what you talk about, like the airsoft or something. Like they must go
yeah, or
through
even that.
training,
Yeah.
not airsoft, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Drills.
Because
I guess you would call them. I don't
I
know.
wrong her because if you're in that job, like you gotta take the damn bullet. Like you gotta be the
Yeah, you gotta
like,
be-
like,
yeah.
At first, like if they hired me, I'm gonna get fired because
I get fired.
Because as soon as I see a gun, I'm gone. I'm like,
They don't even have to fire me. I quit. People are shooting at me. I'm done.
Shouldn't you have to pass a physical
Physical.
exam every so often?
Well, she was a little big. But what happened was.
No, but that
is-
doesn't matter. Some
Oh, it
people
does
can
matter.
be heavier and they can move better than other people.
She
okay?
wasn't moving that far. That much. So then, it's 27.99. 27 Harris 99.
I don't know.
Trump.
According to like I'm on Fox, they're saying 105.72.
Oh, 105.72?
That's what Fox is saying. But if I go right to CNN, they're saying
72.
105.72. But then,
Oh, so she grew
but,
a lot.
No, but wait, but CNN says 90.27. So I don't know.
Oh,
So who do you look
Yeah.
at?
okay. So, well, what else? So it turns out that those guys were actually not all CIA. Some of them were just grabbed. Like one lady, she was breastfeeding her child through this and sitting
What?
down on the side.
Shut the
I'm
hell up.
not kidding you. I
Shut
heard
up.
this.
Like,
This is
wait,
true.
No, wait,
This is true.
stop. She's
Gary.
on the job protecting a person running for president.
One of the CIA members, yeah.
And she's breastfeeding
And she's
while on the
breastfeeding.
shut
She
the
was-
hell.
she was-
how are you even breastfeeding and on the job? Like what is
Hey, it's liberating.
Gary, is this true or no? Do you know it?
I heard that. I didn't see it, but I did
I
hear
didn't
that
see
she was
it either.
doing something like that.
But like,
Well,
like,
now then if they
okay,
did
no,
glitter,
no,
they'd be
but,
saying they're
no, but stop.
discriminating.
Because like, I'm not saying it's not true or not true, but like, did you hear it and
If
it's
it's
being?
true.
Because like, there's a lot of crap that everyone says.
No, it was part of the whole news thing for a
that's-
little bit. But also the roof that the shooter was on. All the police and everything were inside that building. They weren't watching. So the shooter is on the top of the roof with all the police inside protecting the
No,
president.
they did that so like once he shoots, they can get to him
They
quickly.
can, they can come out and oh man, it's such a joke. And so I'm trying to figure out how do you have? Let's get real. That's not
Here
even
it is.
possible
Here it is.
for that kind of incompetence.
Here.
The CIA needs a total overhaul. So I just want to say this one last thing. So all these weird things are going on, and the Trump almost died, and so. The next time you see Trump, I believe it was at a Republican rally, safest place in the world for everybody is all Republican and they're gonna have all kinds of bodyguards and everything. The guys walking beside Trump, they're like 6'5", big chiseled cheeks out to here, they're like tanks.
But did he get his own people,
Buff.
or is it?
I'm not sure, but those little tiny women and everything that didn't reach up to his elbows, they're all
you
gone.
know, you're right about that. And there's one quick thing here, funny thing that Trump said at his rally yesterday. He was talking about how he went to some place, I believe it was in Pennsylvania, and they had the stage all set up and they have bulletproof glass around him now and everything, right?
Yeah.
You can't see it through the cameras, but they're there. And he said the only place that they had little bulletproof glass, I don't know if you heard this, he says was to the left of him where the media pit was. He goes, I wouldn't mind a bullet
yeah.
coming
Yeah, I
through
heard
there.
that too.
I
He
heard
goes,
that.
I wouldn't mind a bullet coming through there.
I did. See, this is where he gets himself in trouble. Because I heard
Well,
that and I moaned
That's
when I
pretty
heard
rough.
that.
That's rough.
That is rough. Because he's going, you know what? Because now for them to be able to shoot us, they got to shoot through the media. Well, I guess I wouldn't mind that. It was like, Trump, come on, man. You can't help yourself. I guess it's because he's a bit of a jokester and whatever. So,
Yeah, but he
he's
says it with this tone and this look on his face that he's serious.
I know, but because you're a president, the United States hates when he does that. They do not like it. As a president, they're expecting you to be a politician, which says basically
I don't
when
think
you
it's-
finish talking, you've said nothing. That's what, and you have to learn the art of doing that, and he doesn't know it.
Oh, he doesn't care.
I don't know if it's saying nothing, but it's like
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Listen to Kamala, perfect presidential candidate.
All right,
She
people.
finished saying?
Yeah, that is true too. Like, but they all say nothing at the end of the
Circle
day.
jerks.
But anyways, ladies and gents, it's been fun. I'm sure the next day or three is gonna be fun for you guys in the States. So we'll see what happens next week.
See what's up.
I think regardless, gonna have people crying either way. So we'll see who's crying next
that's true.
week. So as always, it's been your home, your money, and our lives on realtors101.com. Have a great
for now.
week.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101.